I'm Ravikant and I'm going to deal with your Indian economy today. So, in all competitive exams, if we see economy plays a very important role. I mean, the weightage of economy is almost equal to any other pillar of the other syllabus. See, Indian economy today plays a very big role in politics, in geopolitics, in internal affairs, and coming to individual self. And I'm saying that from the very low level, from the individual to the geopolitics, economy plays the main role. So without economy or without economic discussions, there are no there are no diplomatic relations between the various countries. Without economics, there are no relationships also. So that's why economy plays very important role in personal aspects as well as in our examination aspects also. So coming to Indian economy, let's start with some basic definition. See, economy is don't think that economy is a huge data and just we mug the data and we know the economy. No. If you understand the basic concepts, later mugging up the data is very, very important. So some basic theory is important. So I'm going to explain with theory as well as the data. So coming to the basics of the economy, if you see the definition of economy. See, this word comes from, economics is the word comes from the Greek word called okios. Okios means household. It is a Greek word. So economics or this word comes from okios means household and nomos means management. Management or law or customs. So indirectly, economics literally mean household management. సో ఎకనామిక్స్ అనే వర్డ్ ఓకియోస్ నోమోస్ ఈ రెండు వర్డ్స్ నుంచి వచ్చింది. సో దీని బేసిక్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటంటే, మీనింగ్ ఏంటంటే హౌస్ హోల్డ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్. అంటే ఇనీషియల్గా ట్రైబల్ సొసైటీస్లో హౌజెస్ని మెయింటైన్ చేయడానికి ఉన్న రీసోర్సెస్ని ఎలా యూజ్ చేసుకున్నారో, ఎలా ప్లాన్ చేశారు అనే దాని మీద వచ్చిన వర్డ్ ఇది. సో కమింగ్ టు ద డెఫినేషన్, ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ద డెఫినేషన్ ఎకానమీ, see, economy is the study. Economy is the study of utilizing various resources so that they are distributed equally among people. And these resources are, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, resources are always scarce. So the definition of economic goes like this. So economic is the study or social science which deals with the utilizing of all the natural and all the available resources on the earth, which are very few, scarce or few, so that they are distributed equally among all the people. And ఉన్న అవైలబుల్ రిసోర్సెస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఆ రిసోర్సెస్ని మనం జాగ్రత్తగా యూజ్ చేసుకొని ఆ కంట్రీలో కానీ ఆ ప్లేస్లో కానీ ఉన్న పీపుల్ అందరికీ ఈక్వల్గా పంచిపెట్టే స్టడీ ఎకనామిక్స్ అంటే. సి ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, వీ హ్యావ్ గ్రేట్ లైన్ ఫ్రమ్ మహాత్మా గాంధీ. మహాత్మా గాంధీ గారు ఒక లైన్ అన్నారు. The line is, earth provide enough. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man need but not greed. So, the famous line of Mahatma Gandhi ji is, earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not greed. And the meaning here is, the resources of earth are very few. They are, they are limited. అంటే ఎర్త్ మీద వచ్చిన ప్రతి ఒక్కరి నీడ్ ని సాటిస్ఫై చేయగలుగుతుంది, కానీ గ్రీడ్ ని మాత్రం సాటిస్ఫై. అంటే ఎర్త్ మీద రిసోర్సెస్ చాలా లిమిటెడ్. సో దీన్ని జాగ్రత్తగా యూటిలైజ్ చేయడం, అంటే ఆప్టిమల్ యూటిలైజేషన్ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఫర్ దట్ ఆ స్టడీ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో దాన్ని మనం ఎకనామిక్స్ అంటాం. సో ఎకనామిక్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్స్ యూటిలైజేషన్ ఆఫ్ స్టడీ ఆఫ్ యూటిలైజేషన్ ఆఫ్ రిసోర్సెస్ సో దట్ దే కెన్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ ఈక్వల్లీ అమాంగ్ పీపుల్. అండ్ ఇంకొక డెఫినేషన్, ఇఫ్ యు సీ అదర్ డెఫినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎకానమీ, ఇట్ ఈస్ అ సోషల్ సైన్స్. It is a social science which is concerned with production and distribution. Production and distribution of goods and services. So it deals with production of distribution of goods and services, and it studies how individuals, or how individuals, businesses, governments make their choice in allocating the resources. Adhavena, see, every individual has their own choice. See, for example, if a person have 1 lakh rupees, if a person have 10 lakh rupees, so let's say iddari economical status or financial status different. So, ఇప్పుడు ఈ పర్సన్ 1 lakh దేనికి ఖర్చు పెడతాడు, ఈ పర్సన్ ఫస్ట్ 1 lakh దేనికి 10 lakh దేనికి ఖర్చు పెడతాడు. His needs are different. This is person 1, person 2. సో వీళ్ళు ఎలా అంటే వీళ్ళ నీడ్స్ బేస్ చేసుకొని దే విల్ spend the money. So ఏ నీడ్స్ బేస్ చేసుకొని వీళ్ళు రిసోర్సెస్ ని allocate చేస్తారు. See, for example, we have Indian government. Indian government లో let's say our budget is 1 lakh crore. 1 lakh crore మన బడ్జెట్ అనుకోండి. ఈ బడ్జెట్ దిస్ ఈజ్ అవర్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ రిసోర్స్. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఫైనాన్షియల్ రిసోర్స్ గవర్నమెంట్ దేనికి ఖర్చు పెడుతుంది అనేది, that is, I am talking about this allocating the resources based on the choice made by the government. Now, let's say for some part, or 20% will be on infrastructure, and somewhere around another 20% is on agricultural schemes, and another 20% is on rural development schemes. So they will make a priority. ఆ ప్రయారిటీలో ది మోస్ట్ ప్రయారిటీ ఏంటో దాని మీద ఖర్చు పెడుతుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇప్పుడు there is a situation going on in our country which is COVID. See, last time agricultural schemes, rural development schemes 20% allocate చేశారు మొన్న బడ్జెట్ లో. కానీ COVID-19 వచ్చిన తర్వాత can we afford to spend this 20% on these schemes? No. So by year end, if we see, ఇది ఆటోమేటిక్ గా 15% and 15% తగ్గిపోతుంది. ఈ 5% will be diverted, 10% will be somewhere diverted to COVID-19. So based on the situation, based on the need, based on the circumstances, based on the people's economic behavior, based on the country's flow in the economy, these choices were made in allocating the resources. So this study entirely is called economy. Got it? So generally economic principles ఎప్పుడు బేసిక్స్ ఉండవు, అంటే స్టాండర్డ్ ఉండవు. డెఫినేషన్స్, సర్కమ్స్టాన్సెస్ తో పాటు ఎకనామీలో చేంజెస్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. సో వీ కెన్ సీ పొలిటికల్ సినారియో కన్నా ఎకనామిక్ సినారియో ఇస్ హైలీ ఇంబ్యాలెన్స్. పరిస్థితి చేంజ్ అయిపోయిందంటే చాలు, అంటే ఖర్చు పెట్టే దాంట్లో స్పెండింగ్ లో చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది, న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్సెస్ డైవర్ట్ అయిపోతాయి. సి ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 1960s 70s వరకు సి మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ కంట్రీస్ లైక్ సౌదీ అరేబియా ఎట్సెట్రా దే ఆర్ డెజర్ట్స్. అంటే 60s 70s వరకు ఆ డెజర్ట్స్ లో ఆయిల్ ఉన్నట్టు ఎవరికీ తెలియదు. సో ఇఫ్ యు సీ ఆర్ ఇఫ్ యు టేక్ ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్ the Middle East economies. So till 1960s, we don't have any, 60s or 70s, we don't have any oil there. And the oil discovered కాలేదు అప్పటికి. So they are simply deserts. Camels ni, వాటిని వీటిని meat exporting zones గా ఉండేవి. They are not so rich region as we do know. They are part of the business. They are part of the medium who connects east and west. They are plain business people. But if we see, after discovery of new reserve called crude oil, the economy of the entire thing has been changed. The choices of those people has been changed. Politics became very crucial in geopolitics. So, any one new changing, important changing economy takes place, we can say huge strategical difference in geopolitics also. See, 1960s, 70s వరకు Middle East is not a big deal for USA or these people, European people గానీ ఆ రీజియన్ మీద ఆధిపత్యం కోసం. I mean, nobody is fighting to control the resources. But if we see today, to control those, I mean, whoever controls oil controls geopolitics. So like that, any important change in a resource, any discovery of new resource, or any emptying out of a resource. For example, a big coal mine is there. That coal mine run and roll chala bagundi. Now coal mine dry up అయిపోయింది. There is no coal over there. That entire cities will be disbanded. There will be no economy over there. So economic changes are very important with respect to politics, with respect to the nation, health of a nation, stability of the nation, etc. And can we say, here one more question. Can we say, if a country has rich natural resources, if a country has a rich natural resources, then this country can be called as a rich country or advanced nation? So I am repeating the question. If a country has rich natural resources, can that country be called as an advanced nation? If we see examples, if we analyze, if we look into few examples, we can say no. Even though a country has rich natural resources, that cannot become an advanced nation. One of the best examples is these African nations. African nations, if we see Nigeria or Democratic Republic of Congo, almost North African belt, North African region area countries ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో, if you see these countries, these are very rich in natural resources, but they are one of the most poorest countries in the world. So here, not only having good natural resources is the criteria, people has to know that human resource is also very important. It means people must know how to use these natural resources. So that's why in economics, resource includes human resource also, because resources are kept healthily and resources are used properly for the use of mankind only by humans, only by men. So the leaders of that country will decide what is good for their people. So coming to the next, after the basic definition, understanding of what is economy, what is economics, if we see, economy is mainly divided into two branches. Economy is mainly divided into two branches broadly. One is macroeconomics. Number two is microeconomics. Macro and micro. So economy మొత్తం కూడా simply divided into two branches. In macro, it deals with the entire nations or a region or the whole world. So, అందుకే for example, there is something called GDP, national income, poverty, unemployment or inflation, etc. Here in macroeconomics, we don't talk about individuals. We talk about nations, their GDP, their national income, their poverty, etc., etc., etc. So overall గా నేషన్ గురించి వరల్డ్ గురించి మాట్లాడేది మ్యాక్రో. సో మ్యాక్రో అనేది we look through a bird's view from the top. ఇండివిజువల్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు, వీడేం చేస్తున్నాడు, వాడి చాయిసెస్ ఏంటి, we are least bothered about individuals here. As a whole, how economy is running? What is the rate of unemployment in India today? What is the rate of unemployment in any country, USA or Europe or etc.? So, macroeconomics deals at large, broadly, talks about well-being and the economy of the nation as a whole. That is known as macroeconomics. Coming to microeconomics, it deals with individuals, their choices, their behavior, individuals, or we can say consumer, in choices, their behaviors, etc. I mean, how people think. See, for example, let's say we have North Indian belt and South Indian belt. Now here, if we see by individual choices here, in North India, most people prefer wheat. In South India, most of the people prefer rice. Staple food of North India is wheat, staple food of South India is rice. Coming here, the behavioral pattern or the consumption pattern of North Indians by individuals at large, here it is wheat, here it is rice. So if there is any change in the behavior, see for example, recently in South India, or if you see, consumption of rice is reducing, slowly consumption of jowar or ragi, all these has been increasing. So production of jowar and ragi or the demand of jowar and ragi is being increased exclusively in South India. So now this microeconomics deals with why this change, why there is a behavioral change or behavioral pattern change in these people. అంటే ఇన్ని రోజులు రైస్ తింటున్నారు, బట్ సేమ్ టైం వై దే ఆర్ choosing జోవార్ అండ్ రాగి. సో what are the reasons for their choice? Is there any health issues? Is there any lifestyle changes? Is there any what we say suddenly health consciousness? So దీంతో డీల్ చేసేవన్నీ కూడా we call it as microeconomics. So microeconomics deals with the basic level called individual or consumer. Macroeconomics deals with a larger perspective called nation as a whole, or if we say grouping like EU, we say what is the economy of EU, what is the strength of the economy of the region or the entire world. So these are the two branches of economy, that is macroeconomics and also microeconomics.